Hello, hello, hello to all you beautiful gems out there. Back again with another video. As you can see, we're driving, we're in traffic right now. I just felt like talking to you guys, before I go to work. I hope you guys are living in your light, living in your truth, living, just recognizing that you're abundance itself, that you're light itself, that you are love itself. And I also do want to let you guys know that I appreciate you guys for even wanting to come with me on this journey. I really, really, really appreciate it. I love you guys tons for that. But I just had this thought that came to mind. When was it? I want to say it was Wednesday. And the thought was this: people will often recognize things about you that you've yet to recognize about yourself. And what I mean by that is this. So, for as long as I can remember, I've always had people speaking over me that I will make a great teacher, that I'm a great leader, that I'm a great worker. And all of those things in which they've stated upon me, they actually came to be. So when I was younger, before starting school, I already had a love for words and books and just communication. I remember being subscribed to the Dr. Seuss books as a kid at the age of 3, and I used to love reading them. And I hadn't even started school yet, but my family, they had me subscribed to these books, and from there, my love for books was born. My love for words and communication was born. And then eventually, as I got older, I'm going to jump to 3rd grade. So in 3rd grade, I actually started writing my own books. Right, me and a friend of mine. Still my best friend to this day. As a matter of fact, our brotherhood started in 3rd grade, and we had this thing that we would do. So he also loved books too, but he loved the Goosebump books. So what he used to do, he used to draw his own cover photos, his own illustrations, and we just used to create our own horror books in 3rd grade. Fast forward to high school. I just fell in love with reading all over again. Reading, poetry, writing, music. So all of these things, my love for these things deepened throughout time. Another thing that grew in passion over time was really my desire to speak to people, my desire to communicate, just to touch bases with people, to understand people a bit better. I also loved passing along the things of which I've downloaded and received from light, love, soul, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It's me. It's all me. And I just have a love for sharing stuff with people. Man, I love it. So let me stay on point real quick. All right. So like I said at the beginning of the video, people will often understand and see things about you that you've yet to recognize within yourself. So if someone would have told me that I would be a teacher, a leader, an instructor, a guide, I wouldn't have given them much attention after those statements. Because for me, back then, I was just existing. I want to say I was being without being. So I was just, taking up space. But I'm guessing that according to the people that were around me, they saw something deeper underneath the surface. So, beyond all the beyond everything, on the surface, they saw potential in me. They saw greatness. They saw potential. They saw someone who has the ability to communicate effectively with any and all things. And that's something that I'm actually recognizing within myself now. So in terms of being a teacher, a teacher doesn't have to exist in the school. A teacher could be anything and anyone. Like um, one of my favorite teachers is nature, because like in its simplicity, it expresses everything. Because I understand that I am nature itself as well. I just embody it differently. I'm just a different physical manifestation of nature, but all is one and one is all, right? So, I can have so many downloads just by observing a tree, just by planting my toes and my feet, you know, in the grass, in the sand, in water. I harmonize with it. I become one with it. Mentally, I mentally become one with it. And there's so much that can be understood and downloaded from the simplicity that surrounds us. But so the company that I'm currently working for, I've been employed there for about 4 years now. September will be my 4th year. September 13th to be exact. So, I'm going to my 4th year, and within my first 2 years, I've been recognized for being a great leader, being an an overachiever, being someone who actually gives a damn about the work that they do. That's the best reward. Like the best reward to me is not the pay that comes. It's not the pay or the salary in which I receive. It's what I receive from the job emotionally. That's what it really is, man. Because I actually love this company that I'm working for. Do I plan to spend the rest of my lifetime here? Of course not. I have passions that exist outside of this company. However, this is the best company I've worked for, as of yet. And just the way in which I carry myself, the way in which I communicate and socialize with others, it really speaks volumes. Like, it translates well. So what I've done within my first 2 years there, I showed that I'm someone that's reliable. I'm showed that I'm a team player. I'm showed that I'm willing to learn new things. I've showed that I have a high sense of adaptability. I've showed my poisonous. I've showed so many things. I've exhibited all these things to my peers, my supervisors, etc., etc., etc. So much that, like, I'm someone, like, my name is known throughout Eaton. Like, you may not know my face, but you know the name Don. So, I mean, the people in, like, higher positions, like, HR supervisors, division managers, they know my name. And it's because the things in which I do, the way in which I carry myself, it speaks volumes to the people around me. And with that came more opportunities, because I'm seen as someone who's responsible, reliable, punctual, poised, adaptable. These people want to see me in higher positions, right now, as to date, I'm actually enjoying the fruits of my labor. So I've recently come into a different job position at that company that I'm working for. So I went from being a wireman to actually being a wireman instructor. And what I'm going to be responsible and obligated to do as an instructor is training I'm going to be providing fundamental training and knowledge to newly hired wiremen at this company that I'm working for. But it will only pertain, like, it's going to be, so we have two firms for that company. We have a main plant and we have a sub plant, right? So I started at the main plant, but towards my 3rd year being employed with this company, I was actually transferred to the other department due to them expanding And with this expansion, then we're going to be expecting to hire on a number of wiremen, like about like 60 plus wiremen. And they actually wanted me to be on board with training, some of these wiremen. So given that my division manager was such a cool person, and I valued her and respected her so much, she spoke highly of me. I said, no problem, I got your back. I got you. That's what you want, I got you. So I made that decision. So it was a two-way thing. So I was actually, so not only was I doing this for her, but I was also doing this for me. I was also doing this for myself, because I actually wanted to challenge myself, but I wanted to challenge myself more by actually putting myself in an unfamiliar environment. So prior to that opportunity coming about, I actually had the opportunity to be a team leading coordinator for my previous department. So I went through all the notions and the motions. And at first, when the idea came about for my supervisor, I was kind of hesitant. And the reason why I was kind of hesitant to take that offer was because, I didn't want to really be in a leadership position, because I felt as if I couldn't. And I noticed that's something that we do a lot in the workplace too, especially people of color. We want the salary increase, but sometimes we're not willing to take on the responsibilities that come with that. So we have the mentality that we deserve it, and which we do. But you got to prove that too, though. Like, they want to see the proof of that. Like, okay, you think you deserve higher pay? Like, you deserve higher pay, bigger salary. What have you done to show us that you deserve that? So in a sense, you have to sell. You have to sell your expertise. You have to sell what you know to the people that you're making this request to. And I just didn't feel as if me being in a leadership position would have been the best move for me, even though more money would have came along with it. But I didn't feel capable. And on top of that too, I was one of the youngest. I was one of the youngest person amongst my peers. So there's that intimidation factor. Me being over older people, me thinking as if okay, are they going to listen to me? Are they going to treat me differently? Now that I'm stepping into this leadership or this coordinator position, are they going to still respect me the way that they did when I was just a basic wireman? And even though they've confirmed to me that it was all love, I still felt hesitant though. But I was aligning myself more with fear than passion, because I really do love training people, and I love training and instructing and just showing people the multiple ways in which you can do something. I just love sharing information with people. That's that Gem.In.I quality, man. That's strong, man. That's that sun quality for real, man. I just love communicating with people, man. I can communicate, resonate, and socialize with anyone. I literally have the ability to talk to any and all people. And that's something that the people around me have constantly, stated upon me too. But it wasn't until like these recent months that I've actually began to see it for myself, because they start to manifest as more opportunities within my life. So I'm definitely appreciative for having people speak my best qualities about myself onto me. Thank you for reminding me about myself. Because sometimes we get caught up in this day-to-day living and just existing that we forget to pay attention to ourselves and our surroundings and the impact and influence that we have on certain things. So I'm really appreciative of having people in my life that remind me of the beautiful qualities in which I possess. Very appreciative of that. Thank you, people. That's one of my favorite things about the world, man. The world is so beautiful, man. Because I don't know, the world is just the world is gumbo to me, man. The world is gumbo. You have so many different flavors and ingredients that come together, and they may seem as if they may not make sense in the beginning, but eventually, you continuously add your seasoning, your vegetables, and your meats, and your stock. You add all this stuff to it, and then you mix it all together. You get something that's tasteful, delicious and beautifully. Oh my goodness, like it's just I love people. I love the world. I love people. I don't know, man. I just love y'all for real, man. But yeah, at first I mentally denied the opportunity, but I told my supervisor that I would think about it because he kind of just came up to me and asked me and just told me about this idea that this idea that he had for me to be a team lead coordinator for the wiring and cabling department that I previously worked for at the old plant. And I will always remember this moment. So we had a couple of jobs that they had wanted us to have ready to be shipped out Monday morning. And on Friday, Friday afternoon, before leaving, I just told myself like, nah, I really want to get this job. I mean, I want to stay over, but I got something I got to do after work, so I'm just gonna come in Saturday morning to finish it up. Now, everyone else in my department had they had the option to come in Saturday to try to get us up to speed. That way, we want to possibly do overtime on Monday. That way, we can ship all our stuff out ahead of time and stay on go. And I was the only one that came in. Now, this is beyond right or wrong. This is just what I felt like doing. I was so committed to getting that job out because I understood what that was going to mean for my department as a whole. Like, man, like we get these jobs, like we get all these jobs out. We're gonna meet goal for the month, man. Like we're gonna meet goal for the week, and then that's gonna translate to our entire month. So we're gonna be on it, man. So I came in Saturday. I did like 4 to 5 hours. I finished the job up, and I wasn't expecting anyone to be there. I wasn't expecting anyone to be there because one of my coworkers, he had asked me, was I planning on coming in, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna just come on in and try to finish the job up and go home. That's it. But he said that he wasn't gonna come in this time. He said he would. He said he would come in, but he got something going on outside of work, and he did. He had familiar stuff going on, so completely understandable. And I'm not bashing any of my peers who didn't come in on Saturday. I just felt driven and determined to get that job out. I really was, man. I was becoming more of a team player. I was staying over and doing certain things because I actually love what I'm doing. Though. I really love what I'm doing, so that's translating into my work. I love what I do so much that I'm staying over. I'm staying over like 30 minutes to an hour, cleaning up, doing 5S, getting materials ready for my job in the morning. I'm staying over doing all these things. And I wasn't expecting anyone else to be in there, but my supervisor, he came and he saw me and he came over and he just let me know how much he appreciated me. He rewarded me with a lunch voucher and some tokens. And that's when he started speaking to me about the idea that him and the team leading coordinator at the time, as well as our division manager, said that he had the idea. They all came in agreement. They all came together and they were in agreement that I should be the next team leader coordinator to replace our, the one that we had at the time. And not gonna lie, it was a bit intimidated hearing that because out of the bunch, I'm the newest person. I'm the newest person in my area. We had people we had 2 guys that's been there for like 40 plus years. Had another one that was going on soon to be going on 20 at the time. And I'm just thinking we got all this experience here. Why me? And I actually said that too. I said to be honest, I said that's surprising. I said honestly, I would have expected the opportunity to come more to somebody like such and such because he's that go-to guy. He was that go-to guy in that area, man. Like he knew the entire process in this area, the next department that's in affiliation with ours. Like this dude knew everything. But there were a few qualities and factors in which I possessed that actually had them favor me over everyone else. For one, my youthfulness came into play. So being of the younger generation, we're more familiar with electronics and computer systems. we know how to navigate our computers better, somewhat. Um, so so that was one of the reasons why. Another one of the reasons why was, once again, my youthfulness. This guy was, he's done 40 plus years already. He's not, it's not too long until he gets to that age of, that retirement age. So they thought about that. So they thought that, okay, there's no need to appoint, like he has the experience, but we're going to be doing the same, we're going to be repeating the same process over if we hire him for this position and then he retires, like a year or two later. So they're looking for longevity, right? So my youthfulness, their visions of longevity within me, as well as me being a team player and me having the ability to socialize and communicate with all people, no matter what position or, no matter what position they're in, no matter what department they're in. Notice that I actually have the ability to communicate well. And I actually think that my communication skills were noticed when we had a meeting one day. So we had a meeting one morning. So what they thought about doing? These puppies are so cute. But prior to the opportunity coming about, we've actually started having our morning meetings, again. And during the morning meetings, we went over goals for the week, goals for the day, goals for the week, and we also started doing like a stretch and mobility routine prior to going about our day. Just to awaken ourselves and alive ourselves even more, and just making it where we're actually being more conscious with our body, right? Making our job easier, ergonomic. And it was with one of these morning meetings that we had one of the older employees. He actually hurt himself. He actually fell and injured himself in the midst of doing a certain type of stretch. And after that moment, I just felt the need to say something, because there was so much tension and friction in our department. And when he fell, the first thing that came to mind was, we may not even we have no idea what part of his body was injured, and the status of did he break something? He's gonna have surgery. We didn't know. He was in so much pain he couldn't move. It was his back too, and I think he had procedures done on his back, prior to that time too. So that all came to play in my mind, and I'm thinking man, I may not ever see this guy again, right? This may be his last day working here. So, I was overcome with a sense of appreciation of even having the opportunity to work with this guy. He's a very cool guy, man. He was like the spark. He was the spark in that area, but he was a positive spark as well as a negative spark, because it wasn't expressed vocally, but I paid attention to the people in our area once I started noticing conflict and issues arising between some of the employees and our manager. And what I noticed was that he was the loudest and the most vocal of the bunch. He's an older guy, and a lot of people follow suit and follow his lead. Newer people as well as older people, they follow his lead. So he was speaking that language. What he was saying and doing was resonating with them. So he eventually had himself like a little posse, a little mob, a little cult, so to speak. And we had a meeting concerning the friction in the area, the requests and demands of certain employees. During that meeting, I felt the need and the desire to say something to actually bring to light what I'm observing. But I held myself back because I felt so small and inferior. I just let them have the floor. But a lot of things that were being said and done, they really didn't resonate with me. I felt so uncomfortable during that general employee meeting that we had for our department. I felt so uncomfortable. And after that meeting, I told myself, never will I do that again. Like whenever I feel the need to speak up about something, it doesn't have to conflict with anyone and anything, but whenever I feel the need or the passion or the desire to say something, I'm going to start allowing myself to do that. Because like that feeling, like that feeling, like that moment left a bad taste in my mouth, and I didn't like it. So, so after he had injured himself, I just felt the need, like, all right, we don't know what's to come of us, anyone out here, on the job outside of work. So I feel like we should definitely, take the time and actually just put some gratitude out there, man. Like, yeah, what's going on is unfavorable and undesirable at the moment, but we have the opportunity. We have the opportunity to build upon that, to transmute this, to transmute and alchemize all that's undesirable to that which is favorable and desirable. So let's just think about the opportunity that we have. Like, we're in the position financially that our ancestors weren't in. We are existing with other people. We're actually forming friendships, relationships, and bonds with people who look like us, people who don't look like us. We actually have the ability to show up to a place that actually values us. Even though it may not seem like it sometimes. Sometimes we just have to learn to. Sometimes we just have to learn to separate the part from the whole sometimes, and just recognize the many parts and pieces, and that are actually at hand, that's showing us that we're appreciated, that we're loved, that we're desirable, that we're favorable, that we matter. And I just felt the need to vocalize that, so I said something about it, and it was at that moment that everyone knew that I could speak. And that's something that's actually something that I started looking forward to doing at the beginning of every shift. We go through our stretching, our routines, and then after that, I just go around the room and just ask everybody to, if they're up to, just state one thing that you're grateful for. One thing that you're passionate about, one thing that you desire to do within this lifetime. And I've had people that there were people that participated in, there were people that didn't. But a lot of people, I felt like it resonated with them, but they was following someone else's lead. So when one person walked away and said that, they weren't going to do the stretches and exercises, you had certain people that were cool with these people that latched on to that. But my supervisor and a couple of my team leaders, not team leaders, but my supervisor and a couple of my work peers, they actually, commended me on what I was doing, and they thanked me for having the courage to step up and actually to say something, to actually make strides in changing the atmosphere of the workplace, because they've noticed too that, things have become toxic in this area. So I really appreciate you doing that. Like, that actually, gives me something to focus on more, as I'm going throughout my day, man, because it's easy to lose sight of stuff. It's easy to get caught up in the negativity and, what's going wrong, so to speak, around you. Like, it's easy to get caught up in that negativity. What's going wrong in the world and around you and what you don't like. It's real easy to get caught up in that stuff. But, I've had these people reinstate to me that what I was doing was actually giving them something to think about. It was allowing and enabling them to actually recall why they do what they do, like why they show up to work every morning, why they show up on time, and do their job the way they do, why they go about their day the way they do, why they go about their day the way they do. They had a purpose, and I guess in the mix of working so many years and different with these different personalities, they lost sight of that. But they let me know that by me doing these morning meetings, that they were remembering why they do certain things. And I wanted to challenge myself more with this position I was offered by my supervisor and my division manager. He actually came to me himself personally and asked me, Yeah, we thinking about having you become the next team leader coordinator, man. Cause like I just admire your punctuality. You know, whenever I come through this area, you're always working. You know, certain people they just don't care when I come through, but you know, you treat everybody and everything the same too, man. Like you show up on time, you leave on time. You're willing to stay over to get things done. He said, I really appreciate that. That's a strong quality. That's a strong quality to have. He came to me personally. He was asking me like, yeah, did you see like they really wanted me to take that position badly, man, for real. They was like desperate for real, man. And at first I didn't understand why me, but then in me wanting to actually challenge myself, and I actually just like reflected on like the many opportunities in which I had to advance in the position. Like I have the experience, I got the knowledge, I can advance in these positions, but I feel so small and inferior that I'm not even allowing myself to actually flow and grow along with those opportunities that's coming to me. So I just thought about that, and then it was with that thought that I actually decided to challenge myself. So I accepted it. When the job title became available online. I applied for it, and but we started doing work right away. Like as soon as I vocally accepted it, then that's when I received a pay increase. So I had gotten 2 raises in that time period. I had gotten a raise. Everyone plant wide got a raise, and then for me accepting the responsibilities of that job position and me training with the team lead coordinator at the time, I got another salary increase. I got another pay increase. So right away, I started training with the team lead coordinator. Just learning who to communicate with in terms of getting material, getting parts, ordering stuff. Learning where all the different materials and parts were where they were located. Just learning how to read the production, the productivity sheet. Just knowing the whole process that he goes through. And I adapted pretty well. So it was to the point to where even though he was still there, I was still like sending emails out. Just like I was putting myself in his shoes. So if this is what you do, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better at this at a more fast and productive rate if I'm actually throwing myself into these positions. So I started doing that. I started sending the emails. At first I started walking with him to get certain parts, and eventually I started getting them myself. And on top of that, I was getting up with the other team leading coordinators in my surrounding areas, because our departments have to communicate with each other to get these jobs out. So I was talking to the team leading coordinator for setup, closeout, assembly, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm really challenging myself by trying to I'm really challenging myself. So I was taking this position serious. I just wanted to soak up as much knowledge as I could and just be great at this position, man. I was setting myself up for success by doing that. And some time went by. A couple some weeks went by, and one of the guys that's actually been there for 40 plus years, he applied for the job position as well. Then it came to interviews. Me and him we weren't the only employees and candidates that applied, but we were the top 2. It came down to us because he has the experience in the area, and I'm up and coming. But I've shown and proved that I can adapt, I can learn. I'm a fast learner. I'm very knowledgeable of the processes, and on top of that too, I'm acting as the team leader coordinator now, so I've already got that practice. But he has that same thing too. He's just not as computer savvy as I am, but he knows where everything is. But I have communication, youthfulness, longevity. I have all these qualities and attributes on my side. But in the end, it went to him, with the experience. And my division manager, post interview, she actually let me know that she was happy that I didn't get that position, because that area and that department that I was working in would soon become obsolete. They would be joining the main floor. So she said Don, I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad that you didn't get it. I'm glad that you didn't get it. And she had some control over that too. But and that's the reason why she chose him instead of me. He's used to all that. But for me, she saw the longevity and the youthfulness and the adaptability and the ability to learn and to communicate and socialize with any and all people. She saw that within me too. So she wanted me to go to this new department because they were in the process of expanding. And in expanding, and we're going to have tons of new people coming in. She wanted me to be behind that. So I let her know, like, yeah, I got your back. I got you. And not only that, I just wanted to challenge myself too. So I accepted it. And right on the spot, as soon as I accepted it, boom, another pay increase. So just within probably like a month or a month and a half, I've received 3 pay increases. So, but my work mentality shows that though. It shows, and I know that I am deserving of all those increases that I've received. I'm more than qualified. I'm more than worthy of. All that's written within my essence, man. And I just started to recognize that with the many people in which I've trained once I got to this new area. So I actually just got to this new department in March of last year. So after me and my wife got back from our vacation of celebrating our anniversary, as soon as I got back, she got it with me, let me know about the opportunity that she saw within me. I accepted it, and then I got shipped over there, and I probably was over there for like 1 month. Then after that 1 month, I trained my first person, and me and this person, we harmonized and resonated in so many ways. And we were like, we had our differences and we had our differences in beliefs, but she was someone who was in tune with spirituality as well. So it's always wonderful to talk to someone who's actually open-minded, like I am, because I really love talking and communicating with people, and it's with the people that speak my language that I exert more of my passion with. So we can speak each other's language and resonate with each other in some ways and harmonize with each other in some ways. Oh, you're gonna feel me. Like, you're gonna know exactly who Don is through my gestures, mannerism, communication. You're gonna learn about me, and I'm gonna learn about you too. I just love having that sense of connectivity and community with people. So I trained my first person like 1 month after getting to this new department. And it started with one, and then we relocated in that department. And in the midst of relocating, one became two became three, and sooner or later I've been trained, and sooner or later, that 3 went to about like 10 or 11. And it would just get to the point to where whenever we had new people coming in, even though there were like wiremen in the area that had more experience than me, like there's one guy in that department now. So one guy in that department now, he's been there for 10 years. This will be his 11th year. And in the midst of him being there, he's only trained one person. So just like think about that, like let that sink in for a moment. 10-1 versus 10-1 in comparison to 1-10-12. Like I've been there for 1 month and trained my first person. He hadn't yet trained anybody at the time. Now eventually, as time went on, you know what? My first month being there, after my first month of being there, I trained my first person. We had 2 people come in, so my trainee, and then there was another person who actually ended up training with him. That guy, both of those trainees are no longer there, but the one I trained, she's out on medical, whereas his trainee, he got terminated due to, personal reasons. But me and the guy is actually cool. He's a very cool person. His mentality was just kind of warped in terms of, himself as well as the job that we do. But That's neither here nor there. But he's one person there that has the experience, he has the knowledge, but he's not very social. He's not very social. He's vocal as hell though. He'll speak his mind, his opinion, and that's something that he's entitled to do. But the things in which he knows, like his knowledge, his wisdom, for like this, like you have 10 years of knowledge and wisdom that you can share with people, but you don't. Instead, you criticize people's work, behind their back. You wait till they leave to talk trash about it. And as with me, if I notice something that's being done or not being done, me being a wireman in the area just like everyone else, I'm responsible for communicating those things. And whenever I tell you something, it's never going to be to like degrade your energy or your spirit. If anything, I'm going to encourage you to try again. I'm going to encourage you that it's okay. Like you're learning. A part of one of the key parts of learning is making mistakes. Right? You like sometimes you have to fuck up to make things right, and vice versa. So I always communicate that with anybody that I was training, just to anyone in general, whether you're a trainee of mine or not. I'm communicating that with you, because I just felt obligated and responsible for doing that. Like I actually care about you guys' well-being. I actually want to see people around me winning. So I'm going to try my best to give you guys a winning formula while you guys are around me. And all of those things eventually translated, and now I'm in this position, man. Like I just got to this department in March. I just got in this department March of last year, and I had an interview for being the wiring trainer for that department in December. The job position had opened up in December. I applied right then and there. Updated my resume, got home, did all the work when I got home off work. After I got home from work, I updated my resume, applied for the job position, and like probably like 2 weeks later, as I'm about to leave and go home for the day, one of my good buddies in HR, she called me before I left, told me that they have an interview scheduled for me December 10th. Never forget that day, December 10th. And she gave me the time, location. I prepped for it. And it's kind of funny. It's a funny story too. So I got sent an email on what the interview was going to be about, but I guess I misread it, and it wasn't communicated very well with me. So I went on ahead and like prepped like a whole assessment and presentation for this interview, and that wasn't even necessary, because the materials that I was going to be having to do the assessment on, it was supplied to me in the email. It was given. But upon reading that email, I just didn't know. But so when I got to that interview, everything was on the spot for me. Like I had to actually present the knowledge. I had to present what I've learned, what I knew pertaining to this certain topic that was given in the email. It was a 3-panel interview. 3-panel, right? So first portion was a 15 to 20 minute assessment. So I prepped my own assessment on I had materials, and I had like a live diagram of what it was going to be on, man. Like I had wrote my the introduction to my speech, and I came up with the objectives, the agenda, all that stuff. And for that 15 to 20 minute assessment, everything, like for the most part, everything in which I prepped for, didn't use any of it. But what did I say earlier? Adaptability. So like me, like it was on the fly for me, really. Like, once the training coordinator let me know what it was going to be about, I was like, man, like, and mentally I was like, man, I had like prepped for this right here, but this ain't none of that. So really, all I had to do was just study this, and that was it. But I saw opportunity in that, so it wasn't a loss or a defeat. I saw opportunity. I was like, okay, send them on. And he started showing me, like, he started, like, he gave me like the remote to like the smart monitor and the smart board, and at first in my mind I was thinking like, okay, why is he giving me this? So I was like, oh, okay, like why you let me know how to use the remote? But I didn't say anything. He was letting me know how to use it, and I was like, oh, okay. I said, I got you. And then it was with him and two other people in high positions. A part of that interview, that assessment. And what I had to do, I had to deliver the information of which was presented to me in a classroom setting and environment. So that explains the remote. Like, that's why he showed me how to use this remote for this monitor. But I didn't know it was going to be like that. It didn't say that in the email that I'm going to have to deliver this in the classroom setting. It didn't say any of that. But I had the ability to adapt on the fly. And on top of that, I naturally love talking to people, so that's nothing to me. Like, so not only can I flip the script on you, but I'm gonna show you guys how well of a communicator I am. And I did that. They said I passed that assessment with flying colors. And at the end of my 3-panel interview, I asked them, when can I expect a response from you guys? They said, just give us a week to go over all the other candidates. So the next week came. It wasn't even a full week. They got on me that Tuesday. The homegirl HR came over there that Tuesday. I spoke with her and my supervisor. And she let me know that, all right, we give you this offer right here. You got the job. All you gotta do is, like, look at this offer. If you accept it, we got you. But my start date was going to be, so I had my interview December 10th. And my first day in my new area was February the 17th, just this week. And I love it, man. It's such a cool job, because now I'm doing something that I'm passionate about, and that makes all the difference, man. But it's just so amazing how people notice things about you that you've yet to realize about yourself, man. It's really an amazing and beautiful thing. That's one of the reasons why I love people so much, man. I love communication so much, man. It's that feedback. I can let you know certain things, you can let me know certain things, and then we can come together and we can help each other grow. I just love that. And yeah, it's just, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's really a gift, for real. But I started my new position on the 17th, and I had to come up with some material, and it's me and another wireman doing this, we're actually creating our own curriculum and course, doing that together. But he was out for 3 days. He was out for 3 days. He was out for 3 days back to back, and so what I had to do, I was just preparing to deliver my first speech, my first class, and I did that. I got on the computer. Went to the PowerPoint. Went over the PowerPoints, looked at them, studied them, made some modifications, and I delivered it. So I got some feedback. I asked for some feedback from another one of the instructors in that classroom, and he said I did pretty good. He said I did well. And as a matter of fact, my supervisor too, my new supervisor, he was also there, and he said I did excellent. So news had already started to, like, it had already started circulating around my job that I did a great job on instructing that class. They did a great job, keep it up. Well, they said I did a great job, keep it up. But I just love this position that I'm in, and I'm displaying to others what I'm very passionate about. I'm displaying that, and given that given that I'm doing what it is that I'm passionate about, it just feels so easy. It feels so relaxing and invigorating, and I love that. For real, man. I really, really love it. Um, but it all started with a seed was planted once the people around me let me know. And I didn't really think about it at the time, but now it's just so evident that you know that like this evidence, like this is written within you, man. And this isn't where your potential stops. Like potential is never ending. Potential will always be as long as there's an idea, as long as there's a thought of the idea and the space and place for development. Potential will always be there. And now it's to the point where I'm actually recognizing that I have never ended potential, and so do you. So my message to you guys: pay more attention to yourself, observe yourself. Really, really, actually sit down with yourself and observe, man. Just like start paying more attention to yourself. And when certain people in your life, like people that matter, people that resonate with you energetically, when they're letting you know that it's something about you that speaks to them, and they're letting you know something about yourself, just like take the time to actually like, think about what they're saying, what they're doing, and just allow yourself to see you. Like, and I think that's one of the things that we have to remember to do too. We're so focused on what's outside of us being real that we actually don't take the time to look within and establish what's real or not. So that's just my message to you guys, man. Like, you know, place some attention on yourself. Place some attention on yourself. Pay attention to yourself and observe the many opportunities around you, man. Because like the opportunities they're never ending. They're endless. Just just hold on to that, witness it, observe it, and just do what you're here to do. To just do what you're here to do. Experience and create. That's the way I look at it. I'm here to not only create but to experience. And I love it, man. Like I love it. Life is so beautiful and sweet. Now that I'm actually paying more attention to myself and the people and the things around me, it's so much sweeter, man. But that's all for now. Until then, peace.